What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment. IG TikTok about the video. We just gonna hop right into it. So today it looks like not. It hasn't, obviously been fully indicted yet, but it looks like soon we will be having another Atlanta rapper having a RICO, and that is Little Baby. I said Lil Baby, Lil Baby. So I'm sure y'all know, well, I'm not gonna say I'm sure you know, my bad. But I did a video about the beginning of last month or right at the end of February where I talked about this where it was like the Atlanta where I come to find out he is the head of the gang for the gang unit. So he's the head of the gang unit, basically had a speech in basically where Lil Baby's from in the Oakland West community of Atlanta, where he was basically just spewing out saying that this a music video that Lil Baby end up a music video that ended up getting actually eventually shot up because he did it in the ops territory that ended up getting a retaliation shooting, got two little boys killed, 13-year-old, well, not two, one of them died and the other got shot but he survived, but got them injured and one dead. And he was basically calling Lil Baby a coward and punk playing gangster games. He basically did everything, but he didn't, I don't think he said Lil Baby, but he made it blatantly obvious who he was talking about.
All theme of this case is grown men playing gangster that left two of our children in graves and a community in fear. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been.
So I made a video about that basically and that whole thing. So first, like I said, it's a RICO. So let me at least give a little more backstory of who's beefing and who, the events that led up to where we are today. So who's beefing? Obviously, you got to be under rock notice. Lil Baby is 4PF. Now 4PF, one, it also used to be the name of his record label, but he didn't change the glass window. We'll get into that later. But obviously, most people know when people do their like record labels, it's usually ties to their affiliations in the street, allegedly. So, allegedly, Lil Baby has ties to 4PF. 4PF is beefing with this gang called OMF, or I think it's Only My Family, which is an offset of Goodfellas, which is another gang, an offshoot, not offset, offshoot of Goodfellas, which is another gang. But it started with the OMF associate Marquise Holland being found dead. Then it led, as a retaliation, Lil Mid, who was he was a 4PF associate and also inspired rapper. He actually was doing a show out in LaGrange, which is south. I don't know how far southwest, but it's southwest of Atlanta, where he is actually kind of near the, I think, Alabama next to Georgia. Yeah, it's actually kind of near the border, but southwest of Atlanta. They were doing a show, and as they were leaving the show, obviously they got in a shootout, and this shootout ended up injuring Lil Mid, and he succumbed to his injuries. So obviously, Lil Baby, somebody I don't know how close they were, but somebody you're affiliated with, somebody your friend end up dying, you're not going to be, the happiest individual about it. So maybe he didn't exactly. So what Lil Baby did in the retaliation of this, he shot a music video in what happens to be the heart of OMF Hood. And not just no regular music video. It's not like he just did some running gun. This nigga brought a whole production team. Tesla's out the ass, Maybachs and Rolls Royces out. Yeah, he brought a whole production team. It was a lot going on. You feel me? So a little bit after they start shooting, obviously, this being their hood, it didn't take too long, and obviously it being Lil Baby, so people were taking pictures. It didn't take too long for them to figure out that he was shooting a music video there, and they shot it up. So they shot two people. They didn't they were just injured, and it wasn't not life threatening injuries, didn't really seriously hurt anybody, but obviously two people that most likely were associated with Lil Baby. So in retaliation to this, okay, so after this shooting, obviously usually how gang should go. The retaliation. So they retaliated by killing Trevante Turner, who was known to be OMF. He was killed in his apartment. So obviously, we have one more retaliation, and the retaliation obviously caused them to, want to have their get back. So this is where we end up at the murder of the 13-year-old and the injury of the other 13-year-old. So they went to try to get their get back in a known, I guess, 4PF hangout, known 4PF location where they sent in a couple shooters, which I had documented in the last video, but I also put their pictures up again because they got arrested. And that they end up, obviously killing the two boys who were killing the one boy and injuring the other who didn't really have any gang ties. So that is how we got here to building the RICO. And obviously, like I said, a lot of murder cases and retaliation and gang fighting. So that's really how we, got here today. Now, what alerted people that this RICO might be coming is one, the head of the public defender's office in Georgia. He said that he is preparing for another rapper's RICO and that he think Lil Baby will be indicted this time. And he said this is coming out of his mouth. And as if you don't remember, and I talked about this in the video before also, but I'll put it in here again. It was a sheet that came out a long time ago basically talking about Atlanta gangs. Now, I wasn't saying exactly, Atlanta gangs that they possibly could be looking at for RICOs. And 4PF was one of the ones on there. So, and if you look more and more in the sheet, they're scratching off names on the list one by one by one. Now, they're not exactly, doing great at convicting them, but they are, obviously getting some charges, but they're not doing phenomenal at convicting them, obviously, as we've seen with Thug and Lucci, because both of them are out today. But another thing that also was reported today that, alerted us to this RICO is that this woman who, I said this woman, my bad. I've actually forgot her name off the top of my head, but she is usually a live court reporter. She did a lot of coverage for the Thug trial, and she was in court today, basically on the OMF thing. Like I said, the OMF is, obviously already in trouble because of the shooting of the two 13-year-olds. But so one of them was on the stand, and he basically talked to, well, not to be, but they had wiretaps, and on the wiretaps they said somebody talked about Lil Baby having money on people's heads. So
what's going on? Man, them like, come on, bro, you know what's finna go on. Like, how the hell you can, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even like that, man. Them got tickets on a lot of these folks, I'm telling you.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unc, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unc.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders.
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by what do you mean on somebody's head? What is that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. To have them arrested?
Harmed. Or
and who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right.
There's that. A lot more to it. I mean, it's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. They really got my nigga. They really trying to hit my man Lil Baby up. But basically, the funny thing about one of the OMF, this is actually one of the guys. Quick side note that told on Nicole Finnegan. If you forgot Nicole Finnegan was one of the lawyers in the YSL trial that told that he was going to. That he had a warrant out for his arrest that he didn't know that was, she wasn't supposed to do. So, yeah, that's really all to the RICO. The only thing about this RICO today, so the only thing about is all of it seems like hearsay because we don't have an indictment yet. So everything is seen like he say, she say. So just somebody saying he got money on people's heads, not really a convincing case. The only thing that's really convincing here is the exception of 4PF. They going way back to prove that is exception of 4PF. But the thing about that is, Lil Baby ran with the name for so long and had, blue rags and shit like that around. So they gonna have, I know there's some evidence in there to at least prove that Lil Baby is tied to a gang. But I don't know if they have much evidence to prove much else. But it's obviously a gang is, thing with a gang war incited and a 4PF. And it's obvious that, he might be allegedly tied to the gang. So I think there is some evidence there. Now, how much they can prove, we'll never know. And he also acknowledged the RICO on Lil Yachty's podcast. So
Career my whole life for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Something I really ain't did. Like I really don't got no part of. And then you got people calling you every day, and you got comments on the internet saying you gonna get a RICO, and I don't even think people know how serious that is.
You went from 4PF to glass ceiling, and obviously
Glass window.
Glass window. Right.
And of course, 4 Pockets Full had to come to an end.
I mean, why you say of course?
Because all the that be going on and I had to start learning that other people actions I could be.
I don't know how much, obviously he was feeling some of that, but I don't know how much they really can prove. But I'm hoping for the best for Lil Baby because I enjoy his music and I don't want to see him go to jail. But he might beat it. It's a great chance he beat it looking at all the other cases, especially if this remains a state case. So shit. Like, share, subscribe, comment, IG, TikTok, Bonneville, and we out.